Good morning, everyone. Are you all there? Just say good morning to me. Let's see. And I'll start. Good morning, everybody. We start with a big smile. Yeah. It's important for me that you all are following this. That's why I've taken a long class. Good morning, Prashant. Good morning, Pavan. Happiest morning, everyone. Yes. Very good morning. Yeah. Who else? Say good morning, man. I can see other people also. Shall we start? Vicky, good morning. Devika, good morning. Yeah. How are you all today? Thank you, Vicky. I love the flowers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice flowers. Yes, Shilpi, good morning. Yes. Anybody else? Murtaza, good morning. Good morning. Shall we wait for 2 minutes? Or do we start? Yeah. I hope all of you are fine. See, the sad part is I tried to complete the problem on that evening, on Tuesday evening, not enough time. So today I want all of you to restart the problem. All right? We will restart the problem. We will do the same problem again completely. All right? Because half the problem and all must be a confusion. If you all have the problem, leave place there. Nothing wrong. Yes, Prakriti. Prakriti. Who's Prakriti? Okay. Um, if you have the problem half done, if we Rashid, good morning, Rashid. Prakriti is from which section? A. Okay. If you have the problem half done, never mind. You leave it there. You can do it again. So if you do the same problem 2 times, it doesn't matter. The last part of the problem, you can do it again on your side whenever you can. So I want you to restart the problem, the same problem. We will do it properly. No, it's not that we have done it improperly, but we will do it completely. Okay? I was not able to complete the problem. That's why I have requested for a longer class today. Tomorrow and day after, my classes will be taken over by Madhavi ma'am and Vidya ma'am, who have so kindly given me their classes today. It is not possible for me to finish within the stipulated time. That is why I need time. Okay? Are you ready? Shall we start? Everybody? Should I wait for 2 more minutes? Anyone else is coming online? Okay. Anyway, ready? Good morning, everyone. We start with a very big smile. Okay. Kishan, good morning. Good morning, Kishan. Yeah. Shall we start? Okay. Start. I want Nagman, good morning. Good morning. I want all of you to restart the problem. Do the problem again. All right? Ready? All of you. Compulsorily restart the problem. All right? Because I want to redo the problem. I'll explain step by step. Ready? Here we go. This is the problem. Write down. Maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2. Maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2. Subject to 10x1 plus 20x2 lesser than or equal to 120. Next, 8x1 plus 8x2 lesser than or equal to 80, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. I repeat, see the problem again. You have to write it. Solve the following problem. Mallikarjun, good morning. Manjunath, Anjali, good morning. Very good. Solve the following problem by, it is a LP problem, linear programming problem. You can say solve the following LPP using the simplex method. Using the simplex method. Now, if any of you are anyway worried about simplex method, today is a class to follow and you will understand it completely. Simplex is really a simple method. We'll remove the x from today's class. We'll remove the x from the simplex. I'm going to do the simple x problem. All right, this is the x problem. Are you all ready? All right, now look at the problem. There are two constraints. There are two constraints, this one and this one. This is a non-negativity restriction. It is not a constraint. There are two constraints, this one plus this one. So because there are two constraints, we have to introduce two slack variables. Slack variables as denoted as S. So when I say two slack variables, I'm going to introduce S1 and S2. Is that clear? Write down somewhere solution. Since the above problem has two constraints, alright, two slack variables S1 and S2. You know how to write S1 and S2, isn't it? Two slack variables S1 and S2 will be introduced. Alright, two slack variables S1 and S2 will be introduced. Therefore, we make the problem into a standardized problem, standardized format, sorry. We make the problem into a standardized format. Alright. Now, in the objective function, what you have is 12x1. See, objective function is 12x1 plus 16x2. We have to introduce S1 and S2. If I say just introduce S1, it will be 1 S1. The coefficient will be 1 for the variable x1. If I just say S1 for the variable S1, it will be, coefficient will be 1. But we don't want to give coefficient as 1, etc. We cannot assume. So we make it 0. Alright. So in the standardized form, it will be like this. In the first one, copy, maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2. That is not O, this is 0s1 and 0s2. 0s1 and 0s2. Alright. So in the objective function, what you have to do is 0s1 and this one, 0s1 and 0s2. Now in the next one, in the first constraint, S1 you give it as 1, so put it as S1. S2 you put it, you give the coefficient as 0, so it will become C. 10x1 plus 20x2 plus S1 plus 0s2 is equal to 20. Inequality becomes equality, is equal to 120. 10x1 plus 20x2 plus S1 plus 0s2 is equal to 120. Now the same thing, since you gave S1 is equal to coefficient as 1, now here in the next equation you give as 0 and S2 you give it as 1. So your next constraint will become 8x1 plus 8x2 plus 0s1 plus S2 is equal to 80. Again, inequality into a equality. Then x1, x2, s1, s2 greater than or equal to 0. I'll hold this again for some seconds. You read this. All right. This is called the standardized format. Good morning, Spandana. Okay. You understood now, everybody? Again, I'll show you for a minute. Shall I go ahead? Yeah, I think I'll go ahead. All right. Now, we start putting the table. Now, I'll explain the table to you again. Now, what you have to do is, ready? You call it as initial simplex table. Ravi, good morning. Call it as initial simplex table. Alright? Initial simplex table. Now, you see in this, how many variables are there? x1, x2, s1, s2. There are 4 variables. x1, x2, s1, s2. So, I want 5 columns, but before the first column, leave space for one more column, which we will come later on. Alright? So now leave place, one place you leave, and rule for 5 columns. All do again with me, whether you have done or not, do it again. 5 columns you rule. This is the initial simplex table. I have left a little place here for one column and I have drawn 5 columns. Why? The first column is for details and the remaining 4 columns are for the 4 variables. Is that clear? Everybody? So, now I have not written a heading there because I am worried I will not have enough space. So, rule for one row. Rule for the first row. If you had x3, there would have been one more. Okay. So, you have x1, x2, s1, s2 and one for details. So, rule 5 columns and I have ruled 5 columns and I have also told you I need to write something here. So, sorry, something here. So, the first space for one column you leave. Now, first row, first column you put Cj, C to the base j. This one will denote the coefficients. Coefficient means, suppose it is 12x1. x1 is the variable, 12 is the coefficient. So, if it is 10x2, 10 is the coefficient, x2 is the variable. Alright. So, I have to put all the numbers that I get in the standardized format in the, this is the coefficients, Cj is the coefficients of the objective function. Is that clear? So when I said Cj, my standardized objective function was 12x1, isn't it? So put 12 here. By the way, class, rule another row also. Rule 2 rows, I'll tell you why. Rule 2 rows. Okay. So, below Cj, write basic variable. Below Cj, write basic variable. Yes, Yashaswini, good morning. Already you wrote basic variable. Okay. Now, when you write 12 in the upper column, below that write x1. 12 x1. So what do I write in the next column? 16 and below x2. All understood? The first one is 12x1, next one will be 16x2. Third one will be what? 0 and S1. Third one will be 0 and S1, and next one will be 0 and S2. Write down. Is that clear? Alright. Now, for the next one, you extend this. Wait, I'll show you how. Extend the second line completely. The second row line, extend it completely. Alright? And in the first row, first column, you write CBI, meaning it is the coefficient of the basic of the objective function. I have written here CBI. Alright? Now, in the last place where you have left here, no, this place, you have to rule one more column from top to bottom. One column will be for solution, next one will be for minimum ratio. You can just put ratio. I'll write here solution. See. I'll explain again. Here it will be, yeah, you got it I think. 12 and x1 plus 16 and x2 plus 0 s1 plus 0 s2. Then solution and ratio. This is CBI. That is the coefficients of the objective function. My one, good morning, my one. Very good. All ready? Give me one thumbs up. I'll go ahead. Understood, no? Now, how many rows do you need? See, how many variables? Yes, Anjali. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, Vicky. Yes, Pavan. Am I explaining better today? I hope so. Alright. Now listen. How many slack variables we introduced? 2. S1 and S2. So 2 more rows for S1 and S2. Completely from end to end. See? 2 more lines for 2 more S1 and S2. Alright. Then 2 more rows. One for Zj and one for delta. Alright. One for Zj, Z to the base j, and one for delta. So I have 4 rows ready. If you had 3 slack variables, you have to have 5 rows. 3 for the slack variables, 1 for Zj and 1 for delta. Delta is Cj minus I. I'll explain to you later. Let us not get confused step by step. So you have 2 variables, no? Slack variables, S1 and S2. So for S1 and S2, 2 lines, rows, plus for Cj 1 row and 1 for delta. Okay. Now, come to the basic variable column. The basic variable column. Alright. So what were your variables? S1, then S2, then Z to the base J, and then delta. Delta will be Cj minus Zj. Cj delta will be Cj minus Zj. Cj is the one on top. Zj we will calculate. Why am I writing S1 and S2? See, S1 and S2 are introduced only for the sake of working out the problem. I don't want the value of S1 and S2. It makes no sense to me to have the value of S1 and S2 for the final problem. Now I want them because I need to work out. Alright? The method to work out means you have to introduce the slack variables. But finding the value of the slack variables makes no sense to me. How much is x1? Like I need only x1 and x2 because I want to maximize x1 and x2. So what is the point of having s1 and s2? So I have to make the variables leave. Okay, so each one I have to, at the end of this, I have to depart, make the s1 and s2 depart. So I don't know whether I have to make s1 depart or s2 depart. So the whole exercise of this particular table is to make one of them depart. How to make them depart? You know, when we did transportation, I used to call, well, man, this is dummy. Okay, so we want to see which one of them becomes dummy first. Okay, that is our intention. Ready? Now, what do we first do? In the CBI column, you have to put the coefficient of the objective function. You have here S1 and S2, isn't it? So in this column here, you have to put the coefficient. How much was S1? 0. S1, S2 also was 0. Which function? Objective function, not the constraint functions. So CBI, as I told you, is the coefficient of the basic variables in the objective function. Just remember that it is the coefficient of the variables in the objective function. So in the objective function, how much was the C here? I did 12x1 plus 16x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. So both were zeros. So I am giving here 0 and 0. Now you will have guessed here x1, no? In the x1 column, I will fill all the coefficients of x1. In the, I left two, see, I gave you s1 and s2 y, two slack variables for two constraints. Correct? We have two constraints. The constraints are 10x1 plus 20x2. Similarly, 8x1 plus 8x2. Now, this x1 and x2, see, x1, x2, s1, s2 are column headings. So, we are going to fill the 10, now 10x1, no, 10. Then below that, next 20. Then s1 will be 1 and s2 will be 0. So, in the first line, in the s1 row, we are going to fill the coefficients of this first constraint. Do you understand? Under x1, I am going to fill 10. Then here, of the other one. Do you understand? Everybody understood, no? The coefficients of the first constraint I am going to fill here. It was 10x1, so in that I am putting 10. Next it is 20x2, so next I am going to put 20. Next it is what? S1 plus 0s2. So S1 means 1. So I am going to put 1 and S2 is 0. Now, one of you tell me what I have to fill in the second row. I am waiting. You can say in the first row it was 10, 20, 1, 0. Now tell me in the second row what I have to fill. Come on, tell me, I'm waiting. Don't look at the previous one. Just look here and tell me. Yes, very good. Pavan, excellent. Now I know that all of you have understood. Excellent. Pavan says I have to put 8, 8, 0, 1. Pavan is, yes, Biki. Excellent. Now I'm sure you understood. I'm teaching better today, no? Yeah. 8801. You're excellent. Vicky, last one is 1, no? 0 S1 and S2, isn't it? S2 means 1 it is. Vicky, did you understand? Yes, Vicky, yes. Malikarjun? Malikarjun. Ah, yes, Vicky also got it. Yeah. Rashid, let's see what you have done. Yes, yes. And she said, yes, Nina, excellent. It's a typing mistake. Okay. Now, in the solution, what do we have to write? In the top, we have to write the 120, that is of the constraint, first constraint, and of the next constraint, it is 80. Yes, Shilpi. Okay, Vicky. I'm feeling very happy that you understood. Okay. Now, how do you calculate? See, how do you calculate Zj? Zj is for the first one, for x1, it is 0 into 10 plus 0 into 8. Is that understood? For x1, wait, for x1, wait, I'll show like this. I can't make, you can see, no man. For, I'll try here. For x1, column x1, for column x1, it is 0 into 10 plus 0 into 8. So 0 into 10 and 0 into plus 0 into 8 will be 0. Tell me what's the next one. Someone type 0 into, I think you can make out. I'll show you 0 into 20 plus 0 into 8. Alright? Yes, yes. 0 into 20 plus 0 into 8. How much do you get here? 0. Next, 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0, 0. Again 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1, 0. Yes, thanks Prashant. I'm sure now that once one or two of you say no, yes, yes Prashant, correct. All understood? I'll go ahead. Now, we have to make the departing variable. S1 or S2 has to depart, say tata bye bye to S1 or S2. Which one? For that, among this, you look at the coefficients of S1, sorry, X1. X1, what are the coefficients? 10 and 8. Look in the column of X1, 10 and 8. X2, 20 and 8. S1, 1 and 0, 0 and 1. Which is the largest one? 20. So X2 with the highest value becomes the key column. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put one big arrow down here below Cj. Before that, I think we have to calculate Zj, no? Okay, never mind. I will just do this. Even which is the row S1. So you in the minimum ratio column, you do one thick. Sometimes no, they do like this, but now if I go to do, it will distract you. So I'll just make, now class, we will calculate delta. Delta is Cj, which you find on top, minus Zj. What is Cj for the first one? 12 minus 12, isn't it? Cj row wise you see. Cj in the row wise is 12, 16, 0 and 0. And Zj is all 0. So whatever is Cj will come here. 12 minus 0 is 12. 16 minus 0 is 16. 0 minus 0 and 0 minus 0 both zeros. Do you understand? 12, 16, 0, 0. We'll get the same values. Alright. Now, you look carefully. X2 is the key column. S1 is the key row. Alright. And which is the intersecting one? The one which intersects 20. So 20 is our key element. I will circle 20. So we have 20 as a key element. Now, sometimes with this table, we get the solution, and this solution is optimal. What happens is you get x1 and x2 values in the solution. Alright, the solution column is to get the value of x1 and x2. Now, how do you say if this is a optimal solution or not? You say, because in Zj, no, you must get, sorry, in delta column, you should get either 0, lesser than or equal to 0. You shouldn't get anything positive. So, our Zj here is 12 and 16, both are positives. The other two are 0 and 0. So, we have a positive, two positives here. Even if you have one positive, the solution is not optimal. You have to get negative values there. Negative 12, negative 16. If there was minus 12 and minus 16 and 0, 0, I would have stopped the problem here. But you have a positive, so we have to slowly remove S1 and bring in the next one. Now, which one to bring in the next one? The key column element. Which is the key column element here? X2, because 20 is in X2. So X2 we have to bring instead of S1. See here, this S1, no, instead of this S1 is the departing variable. S1 is the departing variable. We'll say tata bye bye to S1, and in the next table we will bring X2. Why X2? Because key column variable. Make notes there. Write down. First point. The highest variable is 20. Okay? Which is found in X2 column. Which is found in X2 column. The highest variable is 20. Yes, Shilpi, very good. The highest variable is 20. The highest coefficient is 20, which is found in X2 column. Therefore, X2 is the key column which we will replace in the row of the departing variable. x2 is the key column, key variable, which we will replace in the row of the departing variable. In the row of the departing variable. We have one more thing to do. Alright, I'll tell you. Departing variable is found out in another way. See this ratio, no, you write minimum on top. Right? Minimum on top. For ratio, you write minimum on top. Now, this solution column, no, here you have to write solution column, no, is 120 divided by key element 20. So 120 divided by 20 is equal to 6. See, finding the departing variable, what I told you is wrong. This is the way to find the departing variable. What do you have to do? Yes. Now, in the key row, key column, you have 20 and next column you have 8, isn't it? So 80 will be divided by 8. Alright? The element from the key column you have to divide. Take the solution column, divided it by the element in the key column. I repeat, take the value in the solution and divide it by the element in the key column. Key column for us is x2. So 120, the row, as per 120 in the row, you will get in the column 20. And next in the same column you get 8. So 80 divided by 8 and 120 divided by 20. So what do you get here? 6 and 10. Which is minimum? Which is lower? 6. Isn't it? So wherever, that is why it is said minimum ratio. So minimum ratio means whichever is lower will be the departing variable. 6 is lower than 10. So 6 becomes the departing variable. Whatever is 6. Do you understand? Now it is clear, the table. Shall we do the next table? Everybody is ready? Yes. I will take okay. Once again. Okay. Now again we have iteration 1. You have to next table you have to write iteration 1. Let me do the table for you. You have to write the basic drawing of the table will be the same. The first column you have to leave place for the first column, and how many variables are there? x1, x2, s1, s2 plus 1 for the details. So rule again 5 columns by leaving place for the first column. Rule 5 columns. Call it iteration 1, iteration. And for the 5 columns, first you rule 2 rows. First you rule 2 rows and write first column first, Cj, C to the base j, and basic variable. And fill in the coefficients and the variables of the objective function. Objective function for us was 12 x1 plus 16x2 plus 0s1 plus 0s2. As you filled for the previous one, I am filling here 16x2 0s1 0s2. The second row line you elongate to both sides. Alright. Now the last two lines you make it as solution and minimum ratio. Rule it off. Minimum ratio. And the first column, first row, you put CB. Alright? CB to the base. I don't have to bother, man. We are not maths people. You put CB and you know what to write there. It is more than enough. Okay? I, J and all is not really your headache. Now, how many columns do we, rows do we have? For two variables, we have to rule and Zj and delta. So make it into four rows. I have written z to the base j and delta. I have not written basic variable. Now class, there was, I told you S1 is departing variable and it has to be replaced by the key column variable. Okay, somewhere make a note. Yeah, nice to see you all giving me the values. Okay, somewhere make a note. The departing variable S1 is denoted by the least minimum ratio, by the least value in the minimum ratio column. I repeat, the departing variable is denoted by the minimum value in the minimum ratio column. Okay, minimum ratio column. Therefore, S1 is our departing variable and it is replaced by the key column variable which is x2. Okay, so we wrote S1 and S2 in the previous table. Now instead of x1 S1 I am putting x2 and below that S2 which is same. Now class, all the elements, you see this, refer this, in x1 whatever was there, see now it was S1, isn't it? It was S1, but the values are all 10, 20, 1 and 0. Those values, the values that you see in the previous table, to fill this row, these values you have to divide by the key element. What was the first value? 10. So 10 by 20 is half. In this new table, Under x1, it will be 10 by 20 is equal to half. You can write there 10 by 20 is equal to half. Next one, it will be 20. What was the previous one? Previous table was 20. So 20 by 20, 1. Next one, it was 1. The value was 1. So here you will get 1 divided by 20, 1 by 20. And next one was 0. So we'll put there 0. So when you put x2, what values do you fill? All the values, the similar values of the previous table divided by the key element. Key element was 20. So we get 10 by 20, which is half, 20 by 20, which is 1 by 20. I have placed it like that. 0 by 20, 0. Solution column 120 by 20 is equal to 6. Now, see, x2 was your key row, no? x2 is your key row now, right? Your key element. So this x2 came here in the place of the departing variable, and now it is the key row. So this one, s2, becomes the non-key row. Alright? For non-key row, you have to do this one. This is the formula. Write down old value non-key row element is equal to, I'll write again. I don't think I have written properly. I'll write again. Write down non-key row element is equal to old value minus corresponding key column value. Corresponding key column value multiplied by corresponding key row value. So it doesn't matter whether you write row first or column first, column element first. Both are the same. I mean, A into B is B into A, isn't it? AB is BA, isn't it? So whether you write A first or B first doesn't matter. Remember, corresponding key column element into corresponding key row element divided by key element. This is the formula. Non-key row element is equal to non-key row element is equal to old value minus corresponding column value, key column value, into corresponding key row value divided by key element. As I told you, whether you write corresponding key column value first or row value, it doesn't matter. It is A into B or B into A. Write this clearly. Now I'll have to do the first one for you. Alright, let's do the first one for you. Alright. Look at this one. Under S2, which is the first one? 8. So old value will be 8. Write down for this one. Right. Write down in order, one step by step by step. Otherwise, you will not get this thing. Write number 1. I'll write it here. Write number 1. Okay, and write. Old value was what? 8. S2 old. This one I'm filling now. 8 minus. What is key column value next to it? What is key column value? 8. Isn't it? What is key row value? Above that, 10. Or you can say column value. Don't worry. You see for this 8, the above row, this one, 10 into 8 divided by key element 20 divided by key element 20. All right. So for the first one, it is 8 into 10 or 10 into 8 divided by 20. So you will get 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. All right. Write down. In the first here, you will get 4. We'll see the next one. What do you think? Where is my... what do you think is the next one? Next one is also 8. So 8 minus, I'll show you here. I wrote it on Saturday, no, but Tuesday, no, that one. 8 minus, what is above there? Key column 20 and key row 8. 8 into 20 divide by 20. So 8 minus 8 is equal to 0. All right. Third one, it was 0. So it is, which is the key column element? 8. Key row element 1. Isn't it? Key row is the departing row. All right. Key row is the departing row and key column, you know, highest. So 8 into 1 divided by 20, you will get 0 minus 2.5, 2 by 5 is equal to minus 2 by 5. And the fourth one, eight into 0 by 20, and look at the solution value. I think I have to show you this also. I'll show you this first. Can I show like this? No. You see this again in case I have not shown it for a longer time. Now this one. Remember, key column, you all know. Key row is the row of the departing variable. So now I will write the values 4, 0, minus 2 by 5, and then I'll get 1 and I'll get 32. So this is what I got. Shall we fill ZJ? I have not filled CBI here. This is X2. What do I write here? What is X2 in this objective function? X2 in the objective function is 16. So you write 16 here. S2 in the objective function is 0. So you write 0 here. Once again I'll tell you. This is X2. This is CB, coefficient of the objective functions. Alright. So for X2, objective function is 16x2. So I put 16 here. For S2, it is 0s2. So 0 here. Write down. Now class, I want you to give me ZJ values. ZJ values. Give me ZJ values. Let us see. ZJ values will be like this. 16 into half. 16 into half plus 0 into 4. 16 into half is 8. 0 into 4 is 0. So here I will get 8. Next, 16 into 1, that is 16, plus 0 into 0, that is 0. So here I will get 16. I repeat, 16 into 1 is 16, plus 0 into 0, 0. So here in this column I get 16. Alright. Next column, I will get 16 into 1 by 20 plus 0 into minus 2 by 5, that is 0. 16 into 1 by 20 is 16 by 20. I will cut it down to 4 by 5. I repeat. Next, here I have to do 16 into 1 by 20 plus 0 into whatever. 0 into whatever is 0. So 16 into 1 by 20 will be 16 by 20. I'll make it into 4 by 5. Last one will be 16 into 0 plus 0 into 1. Both are 0 zeros. So I'll put 0. Now please calculate delta for me. Delta will be 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. 16 minus, how much is that? 16 is equal to 0. 0 minus 4 by 5 will be minus 4 by 5. 0 minus 0 will be 0. Write down class. Should I repeat again? It's easy, isn't it? 16 minus 8 is equal to 8. 16 minus 16 is equal to 0. 0 minus 4 by 5 will become minus 4 by 5. 0 and 0 will become 0. So write down, we will get delta as 4, 0, minus 4 by 5 and 0.